welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another show review. Now this is a combination of episodes 3 and 4 of Queens. Now if y'all have not watched it so far, y'all are truly missing out. Okay, y'all are truly missing out. Tell me about it. It's been so good so far and I'm just loving every moment of it. So yeah, I'm just in love with it. So okay, recap of episode 3. So basically, we got Brianna. She's still finding ways to nurse her husband back to health so that she can make him suffer and torture the fact that he cheated on her. Yeah, that's was crazy. Then we have Jill. She starts seeing a therapist. Come to find out, her therapist hitting on her and takes her to this gay bar and all these events and whatever. So she ends up sleeping with her therapist. Yeah, not a good sight, not a good sight, not a good sight. Now she feeling guilty of what she done did. You got Naomi, who's still on the fence about her daughter, JoJo, telling her who her father is. Because not from that, I kind of thought it was Cam, but come to find out it's really Eric. So it's like, is she really going to tell her daughter? That's her daddy. And she do all this long, and she ain't tell her, like, you waited 20 years. Like, come on now. But I understand things happen, and you try to do what's best for your child. But then again, sometimes what's best for your child might be actually hurting your child in the end. But we gonna see. And then you got Valeria. She's, she just trying to find her way around life and stuff like that, but also still trying to pursue Eric in the meantime. Yeah. So as that episode starts winding down, Brianna, she comes home, she starts talking to her husband. She checks on her kids or whatever, make sure they sleep or whatever. So she goes into her room, she sees her husband watching TV. She's not thinking nothing of it. So she's talking to him. She's like, well, this is what you can do. Da, da, da. And then she happens to look back and she realized he ain't do no movement, no nothing. And then come to find out, he passed. He passed. I was like, oh my God, I fell for her. I fell for her. Because it's like sad. Like, he waited, he watched the kids, he did everything he can with the kids and whatever, and then you come home and to find out he passed away in his sleep. That's like so hurtful and the most heartbreaking experience you can ever imagine. Like, yeah. So it ends up closing off with that. Okay, so starting to episode 4. Brianna, she wakes up. Yeah, she wakes up and her husband is there. She eventually. No, wait. No. Yeah, that's still nighttime. So she wakes up or whatever. She ends up calling the people, the coroner, so they could come get the body, saying her husband and dead and stuff like that. So she calls her mother-in-law, which is his mother, and she explains to him what happened. And the kids are still asleep, so she thinks. So after that, the coroner comes and takes the body out. As soon as she closes the door, one of the children, it was like, Mommy. And she starts talking to him. She's like, well, is Daddy still going to take us to the Lakers game tomorrow? She's like, well, I don't know. Let's just go back to bed. So she ends up putting the baby back to bed. And then now it becomes morning time. So she started making all these phone calls, whatever. She informs the girls that her husband passed. Mind you, excuse me, Naomi and Valeria, they go there right away. Jill's like the last person to find out. So she ends up, with the therapist in her bed still. She's like, well, you got to get ready to go. And then kind of find out Tina been calling her left and right, wanting to go meet up with her so that they can spend some time together. And she's feeling so much anxiety and so paranoid and nervous behind the whole situation because she done slept with her therapist. And now her girlfriend is in town and they want to hook up and all that other stuff. So she's running around with her head cut off, basically. So after that, they all go meet up at Brianna's, and everybody's there. They're just talking to her. Eric is there. The person that's in charge of the funeral, he comes and help her, give her some words of encouragement, stuff like that. But everybody sees Brianna. She did not crack a smile, a tear, nothing whatsoever. She's just sitting there like, yeah, yeah, and everybody just wondering like, okay, why she's not crying. I mean, not for nothing, even me, when I was watching, I thought, like, she was up to something. Maybe she, did something to him. I don't know. Like, that's just the thoughts that start running through your mind when you start thinking about, like, why she ain't shed no tear, why she automatically didn't cry. But, everybody do grieve differently. So, they just, like, whatever. She's just, she got to hold it together for her kids, mind you. She got 5 kids, so she hasn't really told them anything. So, after that, she tells the kids, she makes them breakfast and whatever, and she explains to them, like, your dad passed away. So everybody's getting ready for the funeral. Let's see. We're going to skip in some parts because it's kind of repetitive. Basically, it's about the funeral. So then we get to Valeria. I missed this part. Valeria figured out, because Eric was listening to the Naomi song back in the day, listening to her lyrics. So she puts 2 and 2 together and figures out, like, JoJo is really his daughter. And it's like, mind-blowing. So eventually, Eric and Naomi starts talking. And she feels like she wants to tell her daughter rather than somebody else tell her. Because, you're holding on to that type of information. And it's like, if somebody else tell you, it's like worse. And it's going to be way hard to come back from what that person was trying to tell you in the beginning. So she wants to wait it out so she can tell her and let her daughter know, like, I was doing this only for you, and so on and so on. So they do that. Valeria goes behind Brianna's back. Not even knowingly, but knowingly, because come to find out, Alexis, which is Jeff's mistress, and his student kept calling his phone, and Brianna was not answering anything. So she was like, well, let it ring. So Valeria went behind Brianna's back. She met up with the girl and told her all that stuff. And then Alexis, she's talking about, well, when's the funeral? She was like, it's best you just put the past in the past because he's your past. And she left. I don't know, for some odd reason, she ended up finding where the funeral was at. She shows up, and then all chaos about to break loose. Everybody starts turning around, and then you got Naomi telling Valeria, she was like, you talked to her? She was like, yeah, I kind of saw, yeah, I did. And then you got Brianna turning around like, yeah, I did. And then she gets up and like, she goes ham on the girl. She was like, pow, 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 pow. I was like, what? She broke. But eventually, they was able to break it up with the girls and everybody. They came and brought them back into, I think, a room back in the back of the church. So, Brianna wanted to talk to her. Because also, Brianna had to write her eulogy, but she ain't had nothing to say. All she was thinking about him cheating on her. And that's just what was, weighing heavy on her heart. So eventually, they, talk it out. And then you hear Brianna crack. She started crying and crying and crying and crying. Then she's like, okay, I got it. I'm ready to go and say my remarks or whatever. It was crazy. So after she do that, after she comes back and say her remarks or whatever, Jill and Naomi perform their song for the funeral or whatever. They all go to view the body. Brianna, she goes up to the casket. She has this juicy fruit because he loved juicy fruit, and she about to go put it in his casket with him. And then you got Alexis. She comes up and she starts crying, and whatever. Then next thing you know, she pukes on it. I'm like, what in the world? She pukes on him, and then you just see Brianna like, really? Like, that was so disgusting. Like, you could have did anything else than that, but like, you puked on him. She was like, you're pregnant, aren't you? And then you just see Alexis look like, yeah, that's how that ended. I know I kind of skipped some parts, but you know, that's like the gist of what was going on. So yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. So far, if y'all have not checked out Queens, episodes 1 through 4 are now streaming on Hulu. Or if you have like an on-demand service, you can catch up on that. Trust me, it's definitely worth watching. So far, every episode has been a page turner. And we ain't even talking about a book. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this recap of episodes 3 and 4. And if y'all have not checked out Queens, please check it out on ABC. And y'all can also stream it back on Hulu the next day. So, guys, with that being said, please give it a like, comment down below, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time I upload. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.